Hey everyone, Michelle Ferreri here, Member of Parliament for Peterborough Kawartha, and yes, different sort of wardrobe today, bulletproof vest, and I am doing a ride along with Peterborough Police and Sgt Urquhart. Did I say it right?
Correct.
Gosh,
Yes.
that's a tough one to say.
Yeah.
You're also a supervisor, which is on the side of this vehicle that we're riding along.
That's right.
So you've been in policing for almost 18 years?
That's right.
So you came from Toronto, been in Peterborough for 11 years?
Been here 6, Toronto for 11 prior to that.
Oh, you were here. Okay, sorry, got that backwards.
Yeah.
So, can I call you Brian in this?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we just came from we were out for about an hour and a half, and really insightful. You know, the police do incredible work and every day, and it's their job. I like what you said, Brian. You're like, our core of what we do hasn't changed, but what we're responding to does change.
That's right.
And a lot of it being mental health.
Yeah, I mean, people struggle in their life. We get that. We understand, right? Like, but the core of policing, that what we signed up for as officers when I first interviewed was, why you want to be police officers? You want to help people, right? So you have that empathy for people and that urge to try to support people through a mental health crisis or an addictions crisis. And sometimes it's more struggling. What days are harder than others to struggle through that, but that's what we do.
I see a lot of stuff. I just realized my audio on this camera might not work as well. I just thought of that right now. That's what my brain's thinking about right now, Brian. But so what we did was we went out, we toured, and we did get a call in the middle, and all of a sudden, like, it got real instantly. Lights on, driving extremely fast, and also worried about your colleague's safety. That's what really jumped out at me, to be honest with you, because you're like, it was a female officer. She was on a call on her own. It was a mental health call, and it could have been violent, right? So there's a lot of fear, I feel like, for police officers. And this past year has just been so tragic for your community.
I mean, every officer knows and understands the risks that come with policing. I mean, there's other occupations out there that are certainly more dangerous safety-wise than policing. But we're well trained for the mental health aspect of our job, and we have annual training for de-escalation, and we're continuing education for learning and growing our skill set as well to help people.
I watched 2 officers, well, there was actually 3, but they de-escalated a potentially really violent situation very quickly, like really skilled, down on their level. Like, everybody was really explosive and reactive, and they de-escalated what could have been very dangerous very quickly. And that's the work that I think a lot of people don't see on a day-to-day basis when we look at policing. The other thing, and if I could leave this with people to think about, is obviously mental health and addictions on our street. Human trafficking is another thing we were talking about, as I'm doing a study this week in status of women on human trafficking, and you've worked in that unit yourself. But investing more in addictions, rehabilitation, recovery, treatment, and that would be very helpful, obviously, to police.
Yeah, and just to everyone in general, to the community, right? That's the core of what we want to do. We want to make sure that everyone's safe and everyone can lead and live a happy and healthy life.
They really are here to serve and protect, and they do a really great job on it. We also talked about bail reform. A lot of people want to blame the police in terms of catch and release, but the police have nothing to do with bail reform. You just take the criminals, convict them.
Yeah, I mean, the court process is kind of a process on its own. The police are bound by the court process, and we follow that process by the law. And ultimately, we present the best case and best investigation to the court, and transparent. What happens there, it's
out of your hands.
Court process, yeah.
It's out of your hands. I met some very compassionate, very caring people. You are very good at what you do.
Thank you.
You are in the right profession. You know, some people are not in the right profession. This gentleman is calm, level-headed, pragmatic, caring, empathetic. Like, that was what I really witnessed today. And you're very good at driving very fast. Wow, we drove really fast, really quick. And I trusted him. I just handed over my life, and it was all good. Thank you very much, guys. Thank a police officer today. They're out keeping our communities safe, and I really appreciate the ride along.
No problem.
Thanks a lot.